Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I like to discuss how Nigel Farage, in an attempt to monetize the cancel culture bandwagon, ended up having to cancel himself. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news in politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, I don't talk about Nigel Farage much these days. I did when he was leader of a political party. Because that's my focus, really. Now that he's just like me, a media loudmouth, with about the same number of views, I don't bother so much. I tend to prefer commenting on those who shape policy, less on those who comment on it. But that's me. But this one was too hilarious not to discuss. I couldn't help myself. So as I'm bending my own rules a little bit and commenting on a commentator, I may as well also broach a common comment that I get often appearing on my videos. Phil, do you know that Nigel Farage is advertising on your channel and can you stop him? Yes and no. Yes, I do know. No, I can't stop him. The ads are left entirely at the discretion of YouTube. I just make the videos. They deal with the ads. However, I do occasionally reply, as I did quite recently. I actually don't mind it. That way, when people accuse me of being funded by George Soros, I can actually respond, I think you'll find I'm sponsored by Nigel Farage. It amuses me. And you have to grab every moment of levity in these dark days, I feel. But, out of the way, on to the topic at hand. Nigel Farage is one of these right-wing populists bemoaning what they call cancel culture. People who are paid, don't just have a platform, are paid to speak their minds, or at least somebody's minds, on national television, are complaining that they are being silenced. People with shows on national television, I'm being silenced. Who by are you? Are you? Obscene, really. But Farage, never one to miss an opportunity to make a few quid, decided to host an anti-cancel culture conference. Now, I would have thought that the use for an anti-cancel culture conference would be to let people speak who have no other avenue for doing so. Sharing the thoughts and ideas of people who are otherwise denied an audience. I'm not entirely sure it really makes sense to be organised by someone who has been a regular on, say, Question Time for years. According to the BBC On The Bait, when people ask why is he on that all the time, well, he's an MEP. How come no pro-European MEP ever appeared on the show then? Ever. No British MEP who was pro-European ever appeared on Question Time. But also someone who has his own show, paid for by, who knows, where he gets to sup a pint and talk crap. I mean, no different to what I do, although I do it sober. But, I don't have rich mates and interested foreign actors paying me. Unless the funders of Farage and GB News are also the same people paying for his YouTube ads, in which case, I suppose they do. But Farage booked his conference at a 3,000 capacity venue in London. It was to feature other people who famously never have a say in things, such as former members of the United States government. Can you imagine that? People who have actually run government departments in the most powerful country in the world, claiming they don't have a voice. Now, I saw a report that said they were cancelling their own anti-cancel event due to COVID restrictions. However, it was also reported that they'd only sold 400 tickets. Now, this event was for next week. There are no new COVID laws preventing the event, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that only selling 400 tickets for a 3,000-seater venue was probably the main reason. After all, only selling 13% of your tickets, that's a great way to socially distance the event. That's the thing you see about Farage's conferences, because this isn't the first one that's sort of fallen flat. Despite his pretending to be on the side of the COVIDians, his events are always brilliant for social distancing. Oh, they're a beacon. Remember his US tour before summer, when virtually no bugger was turning up, and those tickets were free. There was the Pittsburgh talk where he had 14 people turn up out of a 2,000 capacity theatre. People were spaced out brilliantly. If it also had good ventilation, it may well have done, then we could even describe him as setting a positive example on pandemic measures. Though I don't think that was the intention. It's also worth considering his audience. Now, his audience will match his assembled speakers. The likes of Lawrence Fox were supposed to be speaking. Prominent COVIDiot who pronounce views on dealing with COVID that are not just unscientific, but the polar opposite of scientific. And this is what tripped Farage up, I think. See, when you consider the sort of people who would want to listen to the proposed speakers, they're not the sort of people who are going to be put off by COVID when there are no legal restrictions placed upon them. But according to The Spectator, the venue had a requirement for attendees to either have proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test certificate. So yeah, great planning there. Let's get in a load of people. Let's target a load of people. And although they weren't targeting specifically anti-vaxxers, this was anti-cancel culture. But in the Venn diagram, there's a hell of a lot of overlap there. So let us target a load of people who are very likely to be anti-vax and anti-COVID measures in general, and then host the event at a venue that requires you to have taken some sensible medical precautions against the virus before being allowed in, and to have certification to prove it. And this is another one of those things that actually really upsets me. See, I've said before that what I hate most about the government is not their wickedness, but their stupidity. I get that evil people are more motivated to rule, and so you will get governments who let evil flourish every now and then. I get that. It's distressing when it happens, but it is inevitable. What I can't accept is when stupid evil wins. It's embarrassing. It's the same thing here. The reason that the Leave camp won is because they were better organised. It's clear as day. They'd had their strategies worked out, abused social media to bombard people with false stories that would provoke a reaction. The Remain camp didn't have a clue what it was doing. Had no idea. Kept going, doing a little speech now and then, get itself on the BBC News, that was it. No clue what they were doing. No plan, no strategy. That someone who hosts an event that is basically targeted at people who are very, very likely not to take the pandemic seriously, and then choose a venue that requires people to take the pandemic seriously, was a major driving force behind the successful Brexit campaign. That offends me very deeply. Because like I said, I can get the evil or the wickedness. Not everyone's evil. I'm not saying Nigel Farage is evil as such. I can get the wickedness. I can't abide the stupidity. Because it just brings home how stupid the general population were to have fallen for it. You know, I've seen people recently quoting George Carlin a lot these days. It's happening quite a lot. He famously said something like, consider how stupid the average person is, and then realise that half the people are stupider than that. So there you are. An anti-cancel culture event that was cancelled by itself. Only in Brexit Britain, eh? Maybe America. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. If you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.